Alright, we have our final Link Joker deck of the day. Yes, it's come to that time, the final one. Today we have Acquire Deletor Igor and my Deletor deck. One of my favorite Link Joker decks just because it's so quirky and weird. So let's get into it. Igor here, if and when I delete my opponent's Vanguard, I can move him into the Soul to unflip 1 point of damage and draw a card. Talk about plussing yourself for basically doing just what your deck is supposed to do. Next up we have our trigger lineup. With some of the newer stuff, I had to wonk out my triggers a little bit. It upsets me, but oddly enough, it has worked out in the long run. We have 4 heal triggers. And 6 crits. 3 stand. For those of you who do not know, Cramping Deletor Edie, their new stand, if you place it on the rearguard and your opponent has a deleted Vanguard, you may draw a card. Sometimes it's worth it, sometimes it has screwed me over pretty royally. And finally, if you haven't guessed, it's 3 draw triggers. Just fairly simple, basic. Next up we have our grade 1s. I wish they had more tech abilities going with the Deletor archetype. I'm looking to see if there's some way I can, build some of the Starvader stuff into it to give it a nice little locking advantage as well. So I'm still working on that. But for now we have 3 Poisonous Deletor Ida, they're 8k vanilla. 3 Breaking Deletor Gatori, they're 10k attacker because what's a deck without a 10k attacker nowadays? It's still a deck without a 10k attacker. Now we have 2 Dewriting Deletor Ieda. Now whenever it boosts a Vanguard that hits, if my opponent's Vanguard is deleted, I may Soul Blast 1 to draw a card. So finally I can make some use out of all that soul that this deck can sometimes accumulate. We have also 4 Perfect Shields, because Perfect Shields. It's not the Unflipper, but I mean it's still pretty damn good to have in the deck. And we have 2 Idolizing Deletor Gwym. If he boosts an attack that hits, it lets me lock down one of my opponent's rear guards, which helps me, generate my advantage for the deck. And moving on to grade 2s. This deck clearly does not take a lot of skill-oriented cards just yet. I hope with the new comic-style G-set that they just announced, it's going to have a few more cards that are going to give us a few more options. But we have 3 Bloating Deletor Gyo. 10k vanilla, I wish we get something better to them, replace them later on. 2 Greedy Deletor Jal, because unflippers are wonderful things to have, especially when you are running a counterblast heavy deck. I have 3 Pursuing Deletor Igote, or however you pronounce it. I think this deck has a lot of Italian names in it, or whatever. But he is our 12k attacker for the deck, and he's wonderful for it. He makes really big comps, especially against deleted Vanguards. He becomes a major pain. Then we also have 3 Jutapos Deletor Jael, where if my Vanguard, or it has deleted your Vanguard, and I call him, I may lock a card. And the great thing about him is that he does not require your Vanguard to be in Legion, so therefore, you're fully able to take advantage of being able to just lay into your opponent with him and punish their field. Next up are grade 3s. As you know, they got their new grade 3 out recently. I actually like trying him out. He's been actually pretty good. I just hate his cost. But before we get to him, let's get through other stuff. We have 2 Jutapos Deletor Zal. You can counterblast 2, choose a card from your hand, ditch it. When this unit is Legion, I can pay the cost. If I do, I delete all of my opponent's Vanguard. Now, I wish, with the additional cost of having to discard something and be in Legion, I'd be able to do a little bit more than just delete the Vanguard. But that's when I saw this guy, because we run 2 Mixed Deletor Kilos, where you may counterblast 2 cards with Deletor in their name. and choose 2 cards from my hand and discard them. When it's placed on Vanguard, if I pay the cost, I delete all my opponent's Vanguard and I choose 2 of their rear guards and lock them. Perfect for shutting up their front row, or if you happen to have, the grade 2 I was mentioning earlier, or you can take and triangle lock them if you have it on the field, such as Jutapos Deletor Gael. Gael helps make some pretty nice columns. And of course, it's Deletors, it's going to have this card. Or Daunting Deletor Uxes. Counterblast 3 cards with Deletor in the name. Choose 1 of my rear guards and put it into the soul. Delete all of my opponent's Vanguard. Gain 10,000 extra power. He's basically a self-made Break Ride with an Activate skill. If you could feasibly do that twice in a turn, not that it would really make sense to do it twice in a turn, it would make up for some really stupid columns. And much like my other Link Joker Starvader deck, I'm sad that this deck doesn't have all that great a Stride deck, but I'm hoping that Comic Style is going to change that. But here's what we have for now. We have 4 Heat Element Megum, and 4 Harmonix Messiah. Harmonix Messiah mostly because it kind of fits in with the movie theme of the deck, but at the same time it needs strides, it needs stuff for G-Assist to be in the modern format. It's a little sad that it has to be this generic, but I'm hoping that new set will change all this and give us some nice cards that'll play with it well, and maybe even, a stride that deletes. But thank you for watching, guys. Comment below. Oh, subscribe and please tell your friends. And keep on rocking. But I'll catch you guys later. Have a great day. And keep having fun.